The world was silent, except for the roar of survival. Before there were cities, before the sound of language, before even the idea of home, there was a world of danger, hunger, and fire. A world where every sunrise meant one thing: another chance to live. Close your eyes and imagine. The earth is wild and untamed. Mountains still smoke from ancient eruptions. Giant beasts roam the plains. And in the middle of this vast wilderness, a small family of humans fights to survive. This is the story of Kale, Runner, and their tribe, the forgotten ancestors whose courage and pain built the foundation of everything we know today. Their story is not written in books. It's written in scars, in ashes, in the bones buried beneath our feet. Chapter 1: The World Before Time. Millions of years ago, the Earth was a place of both beauty and terror. Volcanoes painted the skies red, glaciers carved valleys of ice, rainforests spread endlessly, echoing with the cries of creatures that no longer exist today. The humans of that age were few, fragile, curious beings who barely stood upright. Their hands were small, but their minds held a spark that no other creature possessed, the spark of thought. Kale was one of them. His tribe lived near the edge of a forest where mammoths roamed and saber-toothed tigers hunted. Kale was tall for his kind, with fierce eyes and strong hands used to crafting stone tools. He was not a warrior by choice, he was one by need. Runner, his mate, was gentle but fierce in her own way. She gathered herbs, cared for the young, and knew how to find roots hidden beneath the frost. Their bond was more than survival. It was the first glimpse of love as we understand it today. Chapter 2: Fire and Fear. The nights were the hardest. The cold could steal life faster than any predator. Kale's tribe huddled in caves, wrapping themselves in animal skins. But every flicker of fire was a miracle, one that came at great risk. Fire had not yet been mastered. It came only from lightning, from friction, from luck. And each time it burned, it was both friend and enemy. One night when the forest burned after a storm, Kale took a risk. He approached the glowing embers and carried them in a hollowed bone. The flames danced wildly as if alive, threatening to die out. He ran back through the darkness, his heart racing. Behind him, he heard the roar of a saber-tooth, drawn by the light. But Kale didn't stop. He stumbled, fell, and shielded the bone with his own body. When he reached the cave, Runner gasped. Fire, their first true fire, flickered inside their home. The tribe gathered around, their faces glowing with wonder. That night, warmth spread through the cave for the first time. Children laughed, the old wept. They didn't know it yet, but this was the birth of civilization. Chapter 3: The Hunt. Survival was not a gift, it was a war fought every sunrise. Hunting the great beasts was dangerous. Kale and his tribe had no bows, no spears sharp enough to pierce thick hides. They used traps, stones, and courage. One morning, a massive mammoth was spotted near the river. The tribe needed meat. The last hunt had failed, and hunger gnawed at their bones. Kale led the hunt with 3 others. They moved silently through the tall grass, hearts pounding. The wind shifted, the mammoth raised its trunk and trumpeted in rage. The earth trembled as it charged. Kale threw his spear. It struck but barely pierced the skin. The mammoth roared, crushing one hunter beneath its feet. Kale was thrown aside, pain shooting through his body. He could hear Runner's voice in his mind: "Live, you must live." Using his last strength, he guided the beast toward the trap they had dug earlier, a pit covered with branches. With a thunderous crash, the giant fell. Dust and silence followed. The tribe cheered, but Kale wept for the fallen. They had food now, but every meal came at the cost of blood. Chapter 4: The Winter of Shadows. Then came the winter, a season so cold it froze rivers solid and silenced the birds. Food vanished, fires burned weakly. The tribe grew thinner, quieter, weaker. Kale watched Runner cradle their newborn, a tiny boy with eyes like the dawn. But milk was scarce. The baby cried, his small voice echoing in the cave like a fading heartbeat. Kale's heart broke. He would not let his family die. He gathered his courage and decided to journey beyond the valley, to lands no one had ever returned from. Days passed, he crossed icy rivers, fought hunger and exhaustion. His body trembled, but his will did not. Finally, he found a herd of deer, strong, fast, wild. He waited for the right moment and struck. The kill was clean. The meat plenty, but on his way back he was ambushed by wolves. He fought with fire, waving a burning branch. His screams echoed into the night, driving them off. He returned home with bloodied hands and meat for his people. The tribe survived that winter because one man refused to give up. Chapter 5: The Birth of Hope. Seasons passed. Kale's son grew, learning the ways of fire, stone, and sky. He learned to speak simple sounds, the first language born in human hearts. The tribe flourished. They built shelters from bones, painted on cave walls, and began to dream. For the first time, humans looked up at the stars and wondered what lies beyond. Kale and Runner grew old, their faces lined, their hands rough, but their spirits strong. One evening, Kale sat by the fire, his son beside him. "Remember," he said softly, "we were not made to rule the world, we were made to survive it and to protect it." Chapter 6: The Message Through Time. Thousands of generations have passed since then. The fires of Kale's tribe became the fires of cities, of science, of progress. But deep inside, that same spark of survival still burns in us all. Every time we overcome fear, every time we choose kindness over cruelty, we honor them, those who walked before us, barefoot through ice and flame. They were the first dreamers, the first lovers, the first humans. Their struggle became our story. Their pain became our progress. And their courage became the reason you and I are alive today. Outro: Call to Action. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to reflect on what it means to survive, not just to exist, but to protect, to love, and to be kind. Because even millions of years later, that's what truly keeps humanity alive: kindness.